You've probably heard that I am an indie game developer, but what game am I actually developing? Hello everyone, my name is Adam and welcome to TimeLag Gaming. Wow, it's been a long time since I last did a developer update. Let's get right into it. I have worked on a few projects, but the game I'm currently developing is called SpikeBlade. SpikeBlade is a 2D side-scrolling platformer game like no other. It has over 40 levels, with more coming in the future. Each level has a song of its own by the artist Waterflame. Waterflame produces amazing video game music. Make sure to check them out. Now in SpikeBlade, you play as a saw blade named Sam. There are light story elements to SpikeBlade. As Sam the Saw Blade, you've been held hostage in somebody's garage for over 6 years. However, the owner finally forgets to leave the saw blade unlocked in the machine, so you can finally escape. But now, you have to travel across many different lands to help free your fellow saw blades that are being held hostage in cages inside of hardware stores. Some of these hardware stores include Lockup O's and the Prison Depot. So after each boss level that you complete, you reach one of these hardware stores. Then, you must break in and free your saw blade friends. These story elements after each boss are fairly short and aren't super challenging, as the main challenge is the boss level itself. But the story aspect helps give you more of a reason to try and complete each part of the game. Again, these are just light story elements that help give the game more of a polish. Now as a saw blade, the teeth of your saw blade are all facing a certain way, which means you can only move in one direction, and that's forward. The teeth of your saw blade are sharp enough to puncture the ground, but without a machine, you can't move fast enough to cut anything. Instead, when you move, the teeth of the saw blade keep propelling yourself forward with no way to move backwards. However, this is not an auto runner. You choose when to move forward and when your saw blade stops moving. Being able to only move forward makes the platforming elements of the game very different and unique than what you might be used to. And being able to stop your movement at any time really helps give you control to help you plan your next move. It's the perfect mix between an auto runner and a platformer that gives you full control. At launch, SpikeBlade will have a total of 44 levels. These levels are spread throughout 5 distinct handcrafted areas called worlds. There is World 0, World 1, World 2, and a challenge world. Each one has its own unique style, artwork, blocks, obstacles, etc. There will also be a World 3 added later as free DLC that will add 17 more levels. The levels themselves are non-linear in design, so you don't just go in a straight path. There are multiple different paths in most levels that you can take to get to the finish line. The non-linearity keeps the gameplay interesting. The unique control style mixed with the creative, non-linear, and brilliant level design makes SpikeBlade stand out from the other 2D platformers out there. This is straight to the point platforming. Except it isn't as simple as you would think. There is a tricky learning curve, and the game itself is very challenging. Only those with true platforming skills will be able to fully complete the game. The levels themselves are not too long, but when you die, you have to start all the way over at the beginning of the level. To help offset this difficulty, there is a World 0 that is a lot easier than the main game and helps you learn the mechanics in order to prepare you for the super challenging main worlds. Also, what's nice about the structure of the game is there's a ton of levels that are unlocked from the start. Do you want to skip straight to the World 1 boss? Go ahead. I dare you. The bosses are some of the most difficult levels in the game, and in order to unlock World 2, you have to beat the World 1 boss. However, if it's too challenging for you, you can always unlock World 2 if you collect enough coins. These boss levels are not like your typical boss level. They are simply extremely hard levels without power-ups and with one challenging gimmick in each one. What also helps with the difficulty is having power-ups. When you collect a power-up, you receive one of 4 random power-ups. These power-ups help you reach the end of the level and can help you in other ways. First, there is the coin magnet that helps you collect more coins as it draws them in towards you. Then, there is the boost. The boost power-up simply makes you go faster. This one is interesting as the increased speed makes some parts harder and some parts easier. It takes time to master it. It can also help you reach places you would not otherwise be able to reach. Next up is the shield. This purple electric shield covers your saw blade and keeps you from dying from spikes and other obstacles. However, you can still die from falling or jumping off the stage. The last main power-up is the blaster. The blaster power-up lets you shoot out projectiles that can break certain blocks. Breaking these blocks lets you access different paths throughout the level, access shortcuts, or even give you access to diamonds, extra coins, and power-up blocks. Throughout every level, there are coins you can collect, and these can be used to unlock 4 different power-ups for a total of 8 different power-ups. These power-ups can be swapped in and out. The first unlockable power-up is the Spike Slasher. This replaces the blaster and instead lets you completely incinerate spikes. Next up is the High Jumper, which replaces the boost. The High Jumper lets you jump extra high. This can be useful as it makes access to some areas easier, although it can also make it harder because if you jump off the top of the screen, you will die. Then we come to the Lifesaver. This replaces the shield, and instead of protecting you from spikes, it prevents you from falling off or jumping off the stage. This can let you completely bypass entire sections of the level. And lastly, there is the Diamond Magnet. This replaces the coin magnet, and instead of drawing in coins, it draws in diamonds towards you, which can be really helpful for those hard to reach diamonds. However, it also costs you a lot of coins to unlock. The game is challenging and you're going to need these power-ups. Although, none of the levels require power-ups to finish the level. In fact, every boss level and challenge level must be completed without power-ups. Throughout every level, there are 2 diamonds to collect, which adds to the challenge and the reward of playing. The diamonds are used to unlock exclusive challenge levels, and they also add to the replayability of each level. Diamonds and coins may even be able to unlock different looking saw blades and other in-game rewards in future updates. SpikeBlade has been in development for about 6 years now, and is getting closer and closer to being ready for release. I have not been able to work on it as much as I want lately because I've been spending so much time making content for the channel. Because of this, I don't have an idea on a release date yet. When I do figure out a release date, I will make a trailer that reveals the release date. The week that I do post a trailer, that will be the video for the week, which should give me a little extra time to work on my game. I've gotten many questions on what platforms I will be releasing the game. SpikeBlade will be releasing first as an exclusive on the iOS App Store. The reason I'm releasing it on mobile is to help pay for the development of the Nintendo Switch version. Some have asked if it will be released on the Google Play Store, and no, it will not. At least not for a while. You see, on the Apple App Store, you can submit to get your game featured, but games that are exclusive to the iPhone are more likely to be featured than those that aren't. So for now, the game will be exclusive to the Apple App Store. After the iOS version launches, I will start working on the World 3 levels. The World 3 artwork, obstacles, etc. are already developed. I've even finished 1 level, but I still need to complete the other 16 levels. Then after I release the big World 3 update and I've earned enough money, then I will begin development of the Nintendo Switch version. I am aiming to get the Nintendo Switch version out by the end of the year, but as I have not started the Switch development, I'm not sure how that will go. The Nintendo Switch version will be the deluxe version of the game. It'll have racing and battle modes. When I was developing the concept for SpikeBlade, the entire point of the game was the racing and battle modes. It was supposed to be the main part of the game, but because I was developing for iOS back then, I just started with the single player campaign worlds. But then I was always planning on making the racing and battle modes when I could develop the game for a Nintendo system. I won't say much about these modes yet, but that these modes are meant for 2 players, possibly up to 4, and there will also be levels and stages designed for these modes. Apart from this, the deluxe Switch version will include a retro world with 4 levels. These 4 levels are actually the original 4 levels from the very first build of the game, from when I first made the game when I was in 8th grade. Also, the shop that lets you change how your saw blade looks might be exclusive to the Switch version. This shop could let you change your saw blade's color or even change it completely. One of my subscribers, It's Cookie, was telling me he wanted a playable Cookie in the game. What would you want as a playable character in the game? Regarding the price, I'm thinking of $7 to $10 for the deluxe Switch version, and $3 for the iOS version. I have an entire video on the pricing if you want to hear more about that. So what am I working on now? Well, currently I'm working on the artwork and stages for the story elements of the game. I have finished the artwork for the World 0 and World 1 boss. Now I have to do the World 2 boss artwork and then finish making the insides of these buildings. I also have to work on some of the animations for these end boss segments as well. Lately my workflow has not been the best, so I haven't had as much time to work on it, but I still managed to get a lot of this artwork done. I have been considering only doing 2 uploads a week to give me more time to finish the game, but that would hurt the channel, and I need to improve my workflow and remove the wasted time in the day before I even consider that. Anyways, moving on. If you decided to watch this video and you made it to the end, chances are you're a fan of my channel, and I wanted to get your opinion on some merch I've been working on. This is some channel merch I have made. I wanted it to be something minimal that is something I would actually wear. I like the front, but I'm not sure about the back. The front has the lag elements from my logo, as well as my logo in the bottom right corner. And the back has the hourglass element from the logo with the words before 5K. For this merch, I was planning on it being exclusive to my first 5K subscribers. So once I hit 5K, I would remove the merch from the store. For this merch, I was planning on it being exclusive to my first 5K subscribers. So once I hit 5K, I would remove the merch from the store. However, I don't really like the back of it as much, as it is not the very minimal look I was going for. I myself would not really want to go around with a giant hourglass on my back. Let me know what you think of the front and back, and if you have any ideas of a more minimal back. Or should I just do the front and not have anything on the back? Only having merch with the front will make it a few bucks cheaper for all of you. I will also have some merch that just has a small logo on the front. On top of this, I'm thinking of doing some more funny merch that relates to some of the inside jokes from our live streams, like incorporating a cookie and Go Diego Go. Apart from that, I also want to design some merch for SpikeBlade. If you have any ideas on some SpikeBlade merch, besides having a giant saw blade on the front, be sure to let me know. I will make hardly any money from the merch itself, but I have gotten several requests for it, and I think it's just a cool thing to offer for those who want it. But the money I do make from merch will go into improving the channel, and the SpikeBlade merch will go towards helping fund the game on different platforms like the Switch. In future dev updates, I will be covering things like the history of SpikeBlade, because I've been developing the game for a very long time now, and it has gone through many changes. But that is all I have for you today. If you have missed any of my previous developer updates, I will link to a playlist up above and in the description. So what do you think of SpikeBlade now that you know all about it? Do you have any questions? Do you have any suggestions? What are your thoughts on merch? Let me know your take in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching.